a little vignette, and so I'll give you a little vignette. It's a little bit dated, but it still holds. In 2004, 2005, in Mosul, we had the first of the 25th Stryker Brigade combat team that was operating in a chaotic environment. What they thought they were going into a week before their deployment changed dramatically. All the police disappeared on them. All the police stations were taken over by Al-Qaeda in Iraq. It didn't look like a coin environment at all. It looked like a combat environment. Everything that they had thought they knew, they didn't know any longer. It had been a very peaceful area, and it now turned out to be immensely chaotic. So they had data coming out. They had sensors. They had folks providing them information. They had all sorts of data, and it was all coming in through various stovepipes. That data, you'd tear your hair out looking at the data and knowing that inside there is a jewel. Inside there, you know where you have to go to quell the insurgency, but you can't get to it. You don't know the key. So one of the things that they asked us to do was to help them. They first had to help themselves. One was taxonomy. They had to help themselves with what it was that they called the Blue Mosque, because some people called it the White Mosque, if you were a different part of the Muslim religion. So they had to come up with a taxonomy on the way that they called things, and they did that. And with that, then we were able to give them a simple little web tool that allowed them to geospatially track the trends, track the information that was important to them, whether it be who was the imam at the mosque, where did he live, what were his allegiances, what was his cell phone, those kinds of things, down to who was selling gas, who was selling used cars, those kinds of things. So the commander then used that simple tool, very simple tool, to go after his critical pieces of information. Say, I want to know about X. And then his platoon leaders would come back and fill it out and say, this is what we found out. That exposed patterns, and it prepared not just their unit for execution, but it prepared the unit that came in behind them. General Rodriguez mentioned after the change, the switch out of units, the sharing of information between the 1st of the 25th and the next Stryker brigade that came in from Alaska, that was the smoothest transition that had ever taken place, and that they actually saved lives because they had shared this information. So that's the vignette.